This is a demo session for the business analyst slash quality analyst training. And This is a 4 week program. You would have received the course content outline already, I believe, so far. The purpose of today's session is to kind of set expectations, give you an overview of what is part of this training, answer any questions or queries you may have, and then I think tentatively the plan is to start the batch for the training from August 10th, Tuesday evening.
Okay.
Okay. So I will start with brief introductions. I'll introduce myself. First, my name is Ruchi Gupta, and I have been involved with software industry for a very long time. I did my engineering back in 1996. Then I worked in Mumbai for 1 year. When I came here, I started mm, doing consulting work for all these big banks in New York City. I started out as a Java developer for Merrill Lynch, then moved around a little bit, went to TekTaurus as a business analyst. Then I worked in JP Morgan Chase as a project manager. Then I worked for a few years in Goldman Sachs as a program manager, then in Citigroup as IT risk manager. And then decided to switch things a little bit. I work for an innovative startup company, and I also teach a wide variety of project management, business analysis, risk management related courses um, for many different international institutes. This is a business analyst course that I teach in the evenings. This is so there's a long history behind it. By the time you kind of are in my class, you will get to know a lot more about me. But yes, I have extensive experience with software development lifecycle, both in waterfall and agile based methodologies. I have these various certifications from PMI, four of them from PMI, and I have one from IABA, CBAP, Certified Business Analyst Professional. And for this course, actually, this slide is a little bit outdated. The CBAP certification is not mentioned here. But for this business analyst course, the CBAP one is going to be most relevant for you. I also teach, as I mentioned, many other certification courses for various different international institutes. So this class repeats itself, and we go for 4 weeks once we start, Monday to Thursday. And typically 1 hour is the schedule time. I will help you prepare for the ECBA certification and also Scrum Master, and we will also do some preparation related to Jira Administrator. And overall, basically, whatever it takes for us to get you market ready. So week 4, we will go into the details of interview prep, resume prep, so that you can start the job search after you finish the course.
Okay.
Okay, so would you like to introduce yourself, give me a little idea of what your background is and what your expectations from this course are?
Yeah, sure. My name is Amala, and I actually worked initially a long time ago, before I had my girls, and I don't have much of a software background as such. But when I came here, I went for Microsoft Systems Engineer certification. And then I got a job in New York City in JP Morgan Chase as a risk analyst, and I worked for maybe 6 months or so, and then I had to quit because I had some family, issues. So before that, I also worked in some small Indian, consulting company for some time as a systems engineer, as a junior systems engineer. And after that, I took a long break, and now I want to restart, the job search. So basically, I did a QA course, I think in back in May, and then I spoke to Madhu that I'm not comfortable with scripting. So we learned a lot of about Selenium and WebDriver and scripting, Java scripting. So I asked her if there are any options, and she said that if I'm interested, I can do business analysis. So that's why I'm here. I just want to see the options of whether it fits me or not.
Sure, sure. That's fine, Amla. And that's the purpose of this demo. We want to make sure that you are aware of the overall course content and if this suits
Mhm.
your long-term goals.
Yeah.
Basically, I will walk you through some of these slides over here just to ensure there are no prerequisites for this course. This is a foundational course. So
Mhm.
later on, so that's why we cover a lot of different topics, whatever it takes for you to succeed in the market in your we're targeting junior business analyst roles because these are like re-entry type of positions. So
Mhm.
once you are in that space, then if you want to, let's say, move more into development side or do more automated testing, scripting, and
Mhm.
explore other fields, then those paths gradually open up for you. But initially, this course is about functional business analyst,
Mhm.
and we will cover topics related to wherever we have gray areas like manual QA testing and a
Yeah.
little bit about project management. Because if
Mhm.
even if you're part of a project team for 6 months or 3 months, you do get exposed to many different documents and the vocabulary, terminology, concepts. So
Mhm.
this way, this will be a complete refresher of what is current in the market, what are the tools, techniques, and skill set that are needed in the market now so that you can effectively function as a team member.
Right. Okay.
Okay, thank you for that. Lena?
So hi, basically, I'm completely from a non-IT background, never did work in any IT industry, but I completed my post-graduation from here and working currently as a adjunct professor at two different universities. Uh, my stream is from chemical engineering, but as I mentioned, I worked in those industries. But just to trying to maintain a life and a work balance, want to switch gears over here and try with BA.
Okay, sure, that's fine. There are no prerequisites for this course. You can, in fact, we are going to introduce you to the entire business analyst career path. So this way, it's not just about what you're going to learn to get into a job, but then once you are in that role, then what it takes for you to succeed. We have like the course structure is that we will go for 4 weeks. You will get 4 zip files packages, and I can even briefly kind of give you a peek at what those zip files look like. We have those material sort of broken down like this: week one, week two, week three, week four. Um, their files are numbered. Obviously, we will go through all this. The presentation is there, but then we have examples, templates, and sample documents that you can make use of while you are in your role. So let's say you have a project management office that is giving you some templates, or your team is already using certain documents. Sure, you can utilize that, but then you have things in your package to reference also, so that you can share ideas. If you're given a task and you're not sure exactly which tool to utilize, then if you reference our package, you will be able to grab the details. And that is the gist of this slide 3 that I have on the screen here, about training solutions. So when I started working, it was a lot more forgiving environment, where our managers were our mentors, and we learned from our mistakes, and it was expected of us to share information internally, and more collaborative teamwork type of environment. Then we landed into the era of package trainings, where a lot of training packages were developed by consulting firms or in educators to encapsulate industry specific best practices, and that was fine for that period of time. But now we are in the era of applied learning. So this training is completely geared towards practical skills. You will have obviously the theoretical background, but also then how can we translate them into our day-to-day work life. So you can think of yourself as a craftsman with all these different tools in your tool belt. So whenever we will look at a technique, we will try to explore it from multiple different perspectives: traditional waterfall methodologies or agile methodologies, hybrid. So pros and cons of each, advantages, disadvantages, usage considerations. So it will have like a practical aspect associated with it, so you can utilize that information in your day-to-day environment. So, and we try to have very small groups, usually uh, 5 to 7 people maximum, so that personalized attention can be given. People are coming from many different backgrounds, and we want to ensure that each one of you feels comfortable with the content. So, with this training, I'm going to be covering both waterfall methodologies and agile methodologies. And don't worry if none of these terms make sense to you now. I'm not expecting you to be well versed in any of these techniques. We will start small, week 1, and that is one of the reasons I have this demo, just to set expectations, not only in terms of schedule but also in terms of your commitment. So we run this class in the evening, so people may have their day jobs, you may have your own commitments during the day, and sometimes it is a stretch to study. So week 1 we will go slow, a little bit. Then we will ramp up by week 2, week 3, and then week 4, then we quiet down again. So you will get 2 assignments to do as part of homework for week 2 and week 3. So Fridays we don't have class, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you don't have to feel compelled to finish those assignments in that weekend. These are summer weekends and you could be busy, but I will share my email address with you. You can take this assignment, email to me. I can provide you written feedback. But this is also a very practical class. So as business analysts, we have to feel comfortable working with draft documents, incomplete information, getting feedback. So we also, with those assignments, try to practice. So if you would like to present your work to your colleagues and then get input and feedback from them, this is also a safe place for you to work collaboratively as a study group. So that is also encouraged. And in terms of the course content and the material, we will gradually ramp up. Week 1 we will go slowly with the basic concepts, and then week 2, week 3 we will do bulk of the heavy lifting, and then by week 4 we will again start to close.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll pause here for a moment to take your thoughts, questions, or any comments so far.
So business analysis is just that you have to document the workflow for QA. Is it like you have to gather the requirements and then you have to document it for the QA team. Is that what this this kind of job is?
Yeah, very good question. That is where we are leading to our next slide here, number 5. Analysis means many different things to different people. So, what does analysis mean to you, especially in the context of this course? What is a functional BA? What's the role that we're targeting? What are we going to be learning about? So, clearly, first of all, this is what this course is not. It is not a big data, artificial intelligence, or analytics course. You don't need SQL or database knowledge or business intelligence. Excuse me. It's not about that. This is more about you as a business analyst being a liaison between the business side teams and the technology teams.
Okay.
So mostly our work will be centered around coming up with process flow diagrams, UML documentation, taking notes, process improvements, dashboards, procedures, discussion, like more in terms of analysis. And now these days in the market, role of a business analyst is not restricted to just you're not the scribe for the team. Most of the time, team members take shared responsibility for collective documentation. Even business side teams are very actively engaged. And it's a participatory consensus based type of environment these days. There could be like there is some amount of focus on communication skills, both verbal and written communication. Obviously, if we have not had uh, a lot of practice with written communication, then that's something you can brush up while the course is going on. Like write a little bit more formal emails, and that's what the purpose of those two assignments are that will be given to you. You will be given samples of draft business requirement documents, BRDs, and then you will have to write your own 2 to 3 page BRD. You will be given sample UML diagrams. We will go through all the techniques in the class. We will cover together, and then one of your assignments would be to come up with your own process flow diagram for any of your past projects. Or we have some made up projects within our package. You could choose those if you want. So this role requires you to basically or this training or this role requires you to function as sort of a middleman or a liaison between the business teams and the technology teams.
Okay. Do we have to know some terminologies like technical or business terminologies?
No, not really. If you want to target a specific domain, let's say you've had some exposure to healthcare in the past and you want to stick around being a healthcare business analyst, then it makes sense. Now, here we in central New Jersey, we are in the shadow of Rutgers University, and there are a lot of dynamic industries around in this area. We have telecom, we have healthcare, we have pharmaceutical, we have bits and pieces of finance, even retail. So we get a very diverse audience, and my background is mostly in finance. So the default examples that I use in the course are from finance. But depend on the composition of the group. If you want me to focus on, let's say, retail, and you prefer me to give you examples related to retail, uh, we can do that. If you prefer doing your assignment based on whichever industry you want to focus on or a specific domain, you can do that. But overall, if you want to keep your job search a little bit open-ended and you don't have a specific target in mind, then it's not something that is needed for the course.
Okay.
But whatever vocabulary and terminology we need to be an effective business analyst, that we will cover as part of the course content anyway.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then next up, basically people ask, this question you just asked, the role of a business analyst.
Mhm.
Why become a business analyst? Who makes for a good business analyst? Project teams and SDLC. Role of a business analyst in various SDLC phases. How a project kicks off, and if you join the project midway. So this is a little bit of an amalgamation of the topics that we will cover in our first intro session when we start the batch. But I keep these slides because sometimes these introductory questions come up, which is what you asked, what is the role of a business analyst. So this slide is explaining that
Mhm.
step one, you have to understand the business, the processes, the rules and requirements. Step two, you have to represent IT to the business users at all levels, especially in this day and age of globalization. Our technology teams could be dispersed in many different geographic locations and continents and time zones.
Mhm.
And there is a preference for a business analyst to be close to where the primary sponsors or the main stakeholders or business users are. So you might be the conduit or the face of the technology team as far as the business users are concerned. So you may have to, represent technology. You're not expected to have obviously all the technical solutions. You will have other team members that you will be working closely with, and the type of roles that we are targeting after this training are junior business analyst roles. So mostly you will be working in the guidance of a senior business analyst. So your goal would eventually be to become a subject matter expert for the rest of the IT team. So uh, one thing interesting you will note about this training is that the basic techniques remain the same. So this course is completely aligned with the IIBA. I actually forgot to bring up that website. So this is what we discussed, role of a business analyst. Your goal is to become a subject matter expert for the rest of the IT team. So this is like a target. Yeah, what I was saying was that you will notice that the course has the techniques that we are going to cover in the course. Um, mm, the basic techniques all remain the same, but as and when uh, you start operating in the capacity of a subject matter expert and a senior business analyst, only the scope, size, and complexity of the information that you're managing increases. So you will get very familiar with this organization. It is IIBA, International Institute of Business Analysis. This business analyst course will also prepare you for the ECBA certification, which is entry level certification for business analysis. We will be doing practice questions together, and this and you will get the professional 21 professional development units and certificate of completion after finishing this course, which you can then apply towards your requirement for the ECB exam. This is totally optional, but if you take this exam, it is a 50 questions multiple choice online 1 hour exam. Once you pass this, you can put this on your resume, and that will also help highlighting differentiate you from the competition from other people who are applying to similar positions. And we will also cover content related to Scrum Master. So if this course will also prepare you towards your PSM1 certification, Professional Scrum Master 1, and that's also a separate exam that you can give. And once you pass that test, those also sample questions also we will do together, and that also then you can put on your resume. And in terms of tools, we will cover Jira as a tool. There is free trial version that you can get, and you can practice along with me as the course progresses. And once you're comfortable with that, then that's something you can add as a skill set on your resume, and that will also help your profile, highlight your profile a lot. Okay, any questions so far?
No, it's fine.
Okay. Briefly then, for this training program, this is the high level course content outline. Week 1 topics, we will we will start small, we will go into the role of a business analyst, we will cover the basics of software development life cycle, we'll start with some basic concepts, vocabulary, terminology, stuff like that, various requirement gathering techniques. Yeah, what I forgot to mention was this course is completely aligned with IABA, and then we also have, you will in your week 2 package you will also get this a soft copy of this Babok guide, which is Business Analyst Book of Knowledge. It is a huge 514-page document. We're not going to cover all of it, but these are the 50 techniques in the universe of business analysis. As part of this training program, we will uh, go through approximately 20 to 25 of these techniques together, sprinkled across many different topics in this week 4 package. And um, mm, the rest of the techniques here that we are not going to cover are maybe more related to business analyst on the business side, like cost benefit analysis or risk management, or more advanced topics that unless we have exposure in the industry or we have used those techniques in our day-to-day projects, they may not necessarily benefit us by just covering the theory part of it. So whatever I think is relevant. Where is my screen? Sorry, this is the file I was looking for. Whichever techniques I think would be most relevant and practical for you to succeed in your role, I have included those. So that's about 20 to 25 techniques from the overall list of 50 techniques as mentioned in the Babok guide. So these we will cover one by one. We will look at examples and samples, templates, all of this. So that's what this is, various different techniques, modeling we will do together. Then we will stitch all these pieces into the business requirement or functional requirement documents. We will look at samples together. We will do walkthroughs, and then you will also we will do class exercises also, sample questions, as well as you will get homework related to this.
Okay.
Then in week 3, we will start covering the boundary topics. Business analysts sometimes have to double up and operate and do manual testing basically, either on behalf of the technology team or on behalf of the business users. So you will get exposed to the QA related topics, testing, as well as some project management topics we will cover together. Because once in a while, you may have to fill in for your project manager, or you get exposed to some of these artifacts and documents anyway. So we will do that, and we will learn about Jira as a tool. Then by the time we get to week 4, we will get into more details about the career path, resume, and interview preparation guide, and things like that to get you ready for the market.
Okay.
Okay, so overall, that's all I have for you from my end, unless you have any specific questions about the program.
Yeah, just will you like give us some study documents and something like that?
Yeah, so these zip files will be given to you prior to the session starting. So if you
Okay.
want to do any pre-reading, you are more than welcome to do that. In your Because I don't give assignments the first week, there is only one suggested reading article that is included in your week 1 package, breaking down software development roles. So this is to acknowledge that sometimes some participants have, let's say, no background of IT industry, or it may have been a while that they have been part of, let's say, IT team. Then the first weekend, you will there is a suggested reading article here. It's like a couple of pages. 20 pages or so. You don't have to go through all the 20 pages, but
Mm.
to just frame your mindset in case you want to know about what type of common roles are there, who does what does it feel like to be part of the larger team. So only this one, it's not even pre-reading. You can read it after the week one class is done. But
Mm.
most of the material that we have, we will be going through this together collectively, so that if you have any questions, you can ask me. I don't uh, basically, I give you homework, but those are just assignments, not necessarily reading material.
Okay.
And this class repeats itself, so you will see yourself when the batch begins. It's possible that people from prior batches come back and revisit us and join us for certain sessions. So let's say maybe there's a certain topic that you're finding challenging, or you want to discuss over again, or you got a chance to review the material, and you have some specific questions. You are more than welcome to come back and join us. Every group dynamic is different. The examples we use could be different. The discussion topics could be different depending on the questions that are coming in. So do and the reason all this is given to you in writing is because I want you to listen, absorb, think, ask questions, and not worry about taking notes. And if all the participants agree, we also record the session, so you have the recordings for your future reference. So you don't have to
Mm.
worry about writing. And we keep the group size small also, so that personalized attention can be given, and we very much encourage active interaction, participation. Clear your doubts. If you're feeling intimidated about something, we can go back and revisit that topic again. We will, and I don't rush you at all. We go by the pace of the team. We will not start week two content till everybody feels comfortable with week one. Okay, if we have to adjust a little bit based on, let's say, a long weekend coming up, or adjust based on our schedule, that's why the group sizes are small. Because once in a while, if let's say we have to take a day off, and if we all collectively agree, then we can keep our schedule a little bit flexible. Overall, we know approximate. I have to give you 21 PDUs as part of this course anyway. So
Mm.
minimalistically, you will be spending 21 contact hours with me. 1 hour we work with each other counts as one contact hour. So minimally, the course has to run for 21 hours, but it could be more. It cannot be less. It will have to be more than minimum 21, and it will totally depend on our pace, how we go about it. We may spend more time on one topic versus the other, basically, once the course starts, I take your input and feedback and adjust course accordingly. But you will get
Okay.
all the material and the zip files for what the package contains.
Okay.
Okay, is that
Okay.
what
Yeah.
your question was?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
Ruchi, one thing regarding that revisiting thing which you mentioned, like, is that a limited number of attempts to revisit, or one can revisit any number of times?
You can come, you're most welcome. You can come anytime. Once you are part of the course, you are considered alumni. So come and join us. This is all online. This is GoToMeeting. You can request the link anytime. Come and participate in whichever sessions are going on. You are more than welcome to come with your input and feedback.
Without any extra thing from your pocket, right?
No, no, no. You are part of the team
Yeah,
because
no, no, I'm just
I,
because everybody functions differently. I know there are other institutions where also this coming back or goes on for a lifetime too. So that's why that question I popped up.
no, no. As long as this course repeats itself. So the reason I say that is because sometimes, we don't want to be under the pressure that, oh, if I don't understand this now, what will happen later? Don't feel pressured at all. Keep it. we try to keep it as intuitive as possible. And later on also, when you're revising the material, let's say later when you're giving the ECB exam or preparing for a certain interview, you have a specific question and you feel like you want to discuss something, then don't hesitate at all, come and join our session and we can sort it out.
Okay, and there are a couple of other questions regarding to that. Like it's basically a 21 classes or 21 contact hours, and then your slides or the course syllabus mentions about the the interview process and job uh, resume preparation. So if I don't know whether I should ask you or Madhu is the right person to ask, like how exactly will be the marketing of this thing?
Yeah, that is not my role actually. I
Yeah.
am, you can think of me as your trainer, your coach, your guide, your
Okay.
mentor. I am the subject matter expert. I will prepare you in terms of the content. This week four stuff that I discussed with you is very generic, based
Uh-huh.
on the recommendations and the paths that people who have walked in your shoes in the past, our observations, our best practices. That's what this is all about. This is not personalized one-on-one resume tips or anything like that.
Okay, yeah, that was my
Yeah,
question. Yeah,
that's
and
different. That you will be working with a different group of people. My role is to just go over. I'm a bookworm, and I will prepare you for three certifications: ECBA, Scrum Master, Jira certification, and I'm going to introduce you to the entire business analyst career path. Step by step, you can chip away and build a very successful career out of this.
and so regarding to that business analyst on this part, right, on this slide which you have right now regarding the test cases preparation and the QA stuff, that exactly is completely the QA part. So we do have to install certain software to work around it.
Yeah, the software that we expect you to get practice with is Jira, and that the trial license is free, and screenshots and demos are provided. And I encourage you to also get the Jira license and practice regularly with it. So that will give you confidence. This is a tool that is being used very heavily in the industry. So the more practice you get with it, the better. It's all cloud-based stuff. You don't have to install anything.
Oh, okay, I got
Okay.
Okay.
you. Yeah. And one more thing also, coming back to your, I think, second slide where you had all the, the step by step of the BA analysis. I think it was the second slide.
This one?
Not the syllabus, not the syllabus,
Not
not
the
the
syllabus,
syllabus.
this
Where
slide.
you
Okay.
had the flow diagrams and before this. No, the next one, the next. Yeah, this one. Like if you don't know the before one, just before.
Okay, okay. Sorry. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. What is analysis? I know these are the various steps which you mentioned about it. Like, if you don't mind, can you just pop up or show us an example, like exactly, just to show us? I know you will definitely walk us through once we are registered and go step by step. But I just wanted to see how that looks like. The workflow diagram or the analysis part and the dashboard. Just an example, if you can show.
Oh, sure, sure. We can pull up some slides over here. Just give me a moment. I will take you to the week one slides. Just hash through this. Ah, 1 minute. The UML diagrams are actually, maybe I can just show you even from the files over here. Uh, we have like a presentation and then these supplementary diagrams that go with it.
And like
Why?
the
Okay, here it is. Yeah.
BRD document which you mentioned, like you were talking about an example of 2 pages of a BRD document. So I just wanted to have a look at those examples.
Yeah. So let's say we have these UML diagrams, let's say context diagram, or we would have like a swim lane diagram, something like this. Basically, what we do is go through these examples and then we will practice making these diagrams in Visio for our use cases and test cases that we are covering as part of the course.
Sorry about that. Yeah,
Okay, no
just a
problem.
quick question regarding that Visio thing, right? Like since I mentioned that I'm completely from a non-IT thing, so what do you think? How can this be the Visio? What is the Visio first of all, and then secondly, how to do this?
Yeah, I will be showing Visio is a licensed software, so it is expensive. So what I will be showing you the basic functionality in Visio, but then you can recreate these diagrams in, let's say, using basic shapes in Word or Excel
Yeah,
or even
that
Google
is what.
Doc.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm in
yeah.
PowerPoint again. Okay,
You don't have to limit yourself to a specific tool. Yeah.
yeah, that
Yeah, we prefer to use these cloud-based free tools so that it's just for us to get practice basically. But I
sure,
will
sure.
show you Visio functionality. So in case you do get an interview question or if you do get stuck with that software, you at least know the advantages and disadvantages of the cloud-based tools versus the desktop tool.
Got it. Thank you.
Sure. Okay then. So if you're fine with this, then can I pause today's recording?
Yeah.